This is Weights and Wealth, your one-stop shop for entertaining education on building a stronger body and bank account.
We are not doctors or financial advisors and must warn you this is not medical or investing advice. It is for your entertainment.
Welcome back to Weights and Wealth, your top show for faith, fitness, finance, family, and freedom topics. We are joined here. It's our first time we're having an interview guest back on the show for a second time. We're joined here by Rafael. Woo! If you didn't catch the first episode with Rafael, it was one of our favorite episodes we've ever done. So go back and watch that. We'll link it in the show notes and at the bottom of the screen here. But this episode will probably be a little bit shorter than that one.
Tell about it.
And our camera failed us on the last one, so
this is me.
This is Rafael. Hopefully, we don't have any technical difficulties today. Today, we're going to be talking about Ozempic. Rafael and I were texting the other day about training people and using peptides and Ozempic. So we figured it would be a good episode to cover. So, Rafael, before we get into Ozempic, do you want to give the shout out and the weights wisdom?
Yes, so shout out. We just celebrated Veterans Day, right? So the shout out is for all the men and women out there making us safer every day. So thank you guys for your service. The wisdom for the day is don't rush the process.
Very good.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Everyone wants to, they see people on social media and they think they can gain 20 pounds of muscle in a year or lose 60 pounds. I had a soldier the other day. He's like, I need to lose 40 pounds in the next 2 months. My squad leader said I should be losing like 4 to 5 pounds a week. And I was like, oh gosh, this is going to be a long conversation. Because I was doing this body composition counseling and we had like a 20-minute conversation. But yeah, definitely that's a good one.
Yeah, for sure. Just take your time and you're going to get there, right? So, But people normally don't have that approach. Mm-hmm. So, unfortunately, they keep yo-yo dieting.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
So, but what you going to do?
And that's a great tie-in to Ozempic because one of the things I want to talk about with Ozempic is use cases for it. So a lot of people are using Ozempic that don't necessarily need to be on it. Yeah. And they're just trying to use it to lose weight faster. Uh-huh. Whereas I see Ozempic as being more beneficial for people that are like morbidly obese, where their obesity is such a detriment to their health that Ozempic can help them lose weight in that way. Yeah. Not just for like a small cut or something like that.
Definitely. I have several clients that have used and are using Ozempic. So I have a very different perspective of what has happened over the last 3 years or so. People that have done extremely well, they took well to coaching, and people that saw as a cut from point A to point B.
Yeah,
right?
shortcut.
Shortcut. And they just wanted to do what they wanted to do. And all between that too, you have problem with practitioners not really giving sound advice to those folks, kind of letting them be alone. They're just managing the dosage of the medication, but not addressing other behaviors that are actually going to make this thing last, right? Yeah. So the drug is a great tool. Mm-hmm. I believe that it can truly help people that are extremely obese, right? To lose some weight. There is something magical about the drug that does turn your brain off. You don't think about food. Yeah. And I think I can't imagine having that problem because obviously we don't suffer from it. But I think it's very powerful to give you control of your own decisions. Mm-hmm. I really like the aspect of the drug. And there's some people that criticize, like with anything else. People want to say that it's dangerous. We don't know truly the side effects because the studies that they did were only with a few thousand people. Yep. So this is an ongoing process. Yes. But we do have several studies that show what being unhealthy and heavy will do to you. Yeah. Right? So
so it's like what's more dangerous, the potential side effects or being 400 pounds and hurting all of your organs and your cells at like the cellular level.
Yeah, not only that, right? I mean, also we talk about healthcare costs, right? We have Congress now that just decided to get back to work, and the one issue was the cost of healthcare. Mm-hmm. Like if everybody's thinner and not as unhealthy, what is going to do to the health cost?
Yeah, that's a major reality of the healthcare system. Is that the amount of people that are overweight in this country puts a large burden on the healthcare system.
Yeah, definitely. So I think there is a lot of good benefits that could come out of it. The most issue that I have with Ozempic is, like I was talking about practitioners, is the lack of direction that some of them are giving to the patients. And I have experienced this with my own clients. So I'm speaking on what I've seen.
Yeah.
I think when we talked texting the other day, right? I mentioned about a client that I sent to do some blood work. And again, I don't read blood work. I'm not trained to read blood work. I don't give opinion on it. I stay in my lane. And that's the point I'm trying to make here today. I think it's very important just for practitioners to stay in the lane. If you don't know about nutrition, because a lot of them don't get educated in nutrition, just advise on the dosage of the medication and try to partner with a strength conditioning coach, a personal trainer, or a nutritionist where the drug can truly do its thing, right? Yeah. So you have this whole ecosystem now helping a client to succeed long term, not just for the next 6 months. This one person, went to the doctor. So he was very heavy. So to begin with, so about 60, 70 pounds that he needed to lose. Told him, I just beginning the relationship, new client. And I said, when was your last physical? Like, it's been a long time. Like, go get one. Just let's see what's going on underneath. But again, I'm not reading, have no experience. Go see a doctor. He went, came back, and he said, my testosterone levels is very low. We're like, well, it's a low level. It's not below low, but it's low.
It's like below 100?
Yes, it was 180-ish.
Okay.
And then, so I was like, not saying that you need testosterone, because I already know that you're heavy, unconditioned, and not fit. So if you check all those boxes and you turn things around, we know that your hormone levels are going to improve.
Yep.
So I'm not saying that you need medication, but there are other things that we can do. But go see an endocrinologist. So I recommend him to see a person that I know in Washington D.C. that is very well respected. So he goes there and they had a meeting, consultation, and then he calls me, hey, I don't think it went as well as you thought it was going to be. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, do you know that he has a wellness practice along with his endocrinology practice? I was like, I was not aware of it at all.
Yeah.
He was like, well, yes. So he wanted to put me on GLP-1. He wants to put me on Ozempic. And I was like, what? It's like, yes. And I was like, okay, fine. But what else? Like, this is where it's going to get dicey. And then this doctor told my client not to eat any fat. He's from Central America, so obviously he likes avocado. And then the doctor did say, don't eat avocado, even though it's healthy fat, fat is fat. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, you're an endocrinologist. You should know that fat is essential for the endocrine system.
Especially for hormones.
So that's my beef that I have sometimes with practitioners, because, okay, stay in your lane. If you don't understand nutrition, which is okay, because I don't understand blood work. I don't understand the completely aspect of hormones, testosterone. I'm not educated enough to know these things. I know the very basic, but I can't give you my medical advice because I'm not trained. So recommend this client to someone else. So like, hey, I think you could benefit from the drug. I don't know if you're eating a lot, or I don't know what's happening. So there was no consultation there where the doctor tried to understand my client's history. Yeah. No question was asked about how long have you been training, what is your history, what do you do? And I knew more about his behavior than the client did, because he only had 30 minutes with him. Yeah. And I had already been working with him for a little bit over 2-3 months. So I knew his behavior. I knew the things that were challenge for him. And believe it or not, it was not eating. It was alcohol. Because he is an exec. He is in charge. He's a chief of staff for this massive organization. And guess what he has most nights during the week? Events. Yeah. And guess what he's exposed to all the time? Alcohol. Well, he's single. What do single people do? They tend to drink more. Yeah. So all those things were pain points that we needed to address first.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that he shouldn't be on a medication. Yes, it's going to help him, but it's more about, okay, how do you address your behavior towards alcohol?
Yeah.
How do we make you understand that you can't have a drink every day when you go out? You know, we're going to have to mix some, you know, get some soda. Those are the tactics that we did along the way. It was a very hard thing to do, you know, to change someone's perspective. And, you know, we got to the point where I told him, you know, just put soda water on the cup with a little lime. People are going to think that you drink vodka and soda and they're going to leave you alone.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what we say too.
Yeah. So it's just a long process. You know, this was one case that I have. The other case that was a bit frustrating when you talk about the medication, giving people a sense of a shortcut, you know, a sense that I don't have to work as hard as you normally would to go through a cut, control your food behavior, your temptations around sugar, sweet, whatever that may be. I had this one client over 10 years ago. I've been training him for more than 10 years. So over 10 years ago, he came to me, very unhealthy, also needed to lose about 60 pounds, had a health scare, and he... a single dad, 2 kids, and the younger kids, you know, told him, please, no, don't die, take care of your health, you know, it's just the 2 of us, mom's not around. And so trained him, put him on a diet, he measured his food, did everything he had to do. He checked all the boxes. He was awesome. Yeah. And he lost about 60 pounds. Fast forward several years, his older son is suffered from very rare conditions. So he was a disabled kid, you know, couldn't talk, you know, was in a wheelchair. And his lifespan was just about, you know, normally 7 years old to 7 years. But he was, you know, the father took such a good care of him with the nurses and everything that this kid lived a long life. Yeah. So he died, you know, unfortunately passed. So the dad, you know, was affected emotionally, because it doesn't really matter if you know your kid's not going to live forever, even if he's a disabled kid.
Still heartbreaking.
Still when it happens, it's heartbreaking. And he was very upset about it, so it kind of fell off the wagon with training, food. Long story short, he gained all the way back, right? And then started to date, fast forward, and then he got back into it. Yep. And then started to dating a doctor who was not she was not in direction to give this medication, but she had access to it. Okay. So she got him some. Yep. And she got him some Ozempic, and he used it, and he lost the weight. And one day training, he came up to me and said, can you believe that you can lose 50 pounds like that? I've never seen that before. He had completely forgotten that 10 years prior, he lost 60 pounds doing, you know, changing his behavior, right? Yeah. And I told him, I called him out on it. I was like, hey, that's bullshit. Because I don't know if you remember, you lost 50 to 60 pounds over 10 years ago. Yeah. And then his answer to me was point blank, yeah, but you made me eat salad and control my food. Now I can eat, I lost all this weight by eating a half a burger. That's what he told me. Yeah. And I was like, wow. Yeah. How do you reason with a person like that, right? Yeah. And I said, yeah, you got me. I understand. So I think there is an issue where behavior is not being addressed. Yes. And that's what I worry about the drug. It's not that I'm against the drug. I'm not against the drug. I think the drug is very powerful. And you should use it. Like we have iPhones now. Why am I going to use a flip phone? Yeah. If there is something that I can use to help me be healthier, I'm going to utilize. Yeah. But it just more comes down to the ecosystem, the lack of ecosystem approach to health, to make it long term. Yeah, and that's part of why you see people on Ozempic losing, in a lot of studies I've seen, like 50% muscle mass, 50% fat, 60% muscle mass, 40% fat. Yep. It's because they're not actually doing the things that they would normally have to do to lose weight. Yep. So physiologically it changes the weight that they're losing. Yep. Because now they're losing a bunch of weight, but they're not lifting. Yep. And they're not eating protein. Yep. And they're not getting enough micronutrients. Yep. So they're hurting
like their body at a cellular level by not getting enough micronutrients.
Yep.
Telling the guy not to eat any fat, and he's probably only eating 800 calories a day on Ozempic.
Yeah.
So he needs to be prioritizing fat and protein when he's eating.
100%.
So yeah, it runs into like this whole host of issues if, like you said, they're not given proper direction. Which what you said earlier about like a practitioner finding a strength coach for people to work with, like in the personal training world, personal trainers, we like to have a referral network.
Yeah.
Physical therapists, chiropractors, doctors, people we can refer out to. But these doctors prescribing Ozempic should have a referral network of trainers that are good at working with people.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a reverse referral
network.
Yeah,
it is. And I think sometimes, again, I'm not against doctors. I love doctors. I have a great relationship with my doctor. It's just about knowing what you can actually provide and you cannot.
Yeah.
And have a little bit of be a little bit humble to realize, I really don't understand biomechanics. I really don't understand nutrition because most doctors, I think that just take just one nutrition class during med school, and it's that class is not really depending on where you study, it's not really extensive. That's why there is sometimes people that train bodybuilders, they understand a lot more the human body, how it reacts with food, because they have such a large exposure to that type of clientele, that type of system that doctors are not exposed to. So I think it would help tremendously if you just had the networking. You know, that you can just refer people to work with other trainers, work with other dietitians to make a better experience for the client. And you're right. I had one client that we started to train together. She started to take Ozempic, and then she took Ozempic, was started to train. We started training. She gained weight, but was from training, from inflammation, freaked out. Yeah. I'm gaining weight. Stopped training. I'm just going to lose the weight, and then I'm going to concentrate in building muscle. I was like, But how do you have the conversation with someone who has been very heavy the entire adult life?
Yeah, it's hard. You have to be a really good communicator.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. So there is the psychology aspect of it. So I understood where she was coming from. Like, I used to be very heavy, and when I see the scale just going up, the person gets very afraid. So I understand that. But again, talking about to having a better system approach to taking the medication, if people prescribing it were a little bit more adamant that you should be following an exercise prescription in a diet, maybe you don't take a full dosage. I don't know if you guys have seen on social media now, there's a lot of doctors that prescribe Ozempic, GLP-1, have been talking about microdosage. Yeah. Right? So maybe that could be approach to your point. So where you're not eating 700 calories, you're taking a microdosage, now you can eat probably double the amount of calories. Yeah. And you still gain some of the benefits, because now they're finding out that GLP-1 is reducing inflammation, it's helping with gut health for some people. So there are all these other benefits that are new that people are learning about, and that could be beneficial for people, right? Yeah. And so I think the more we study the drug and the more they understand the capability and the benefits of it, I think it will be very helpful to help folks get slimmer, get healthier, but it won't happen if you're not telling them that training and diet is really what is going to make the difference for you long term. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait. So when one of your clients is taking GLP-1, do you like tailor their training differently or their diet or educate them differently, or is it all?
The education is different because, as I mentioned to my client, who told me that for the second time around, he lost weight eating a half a burger instead of a salad and quinoa or whatever, right? So there is more effort in trying to show to them the healthy meal is the way to go. You know, it's not about me just eating a half a pie. You know, it's just understanding that you need healthy foods and understand what they do to you at a cellular level, right? To be healthier. So it takes more time from me 100% to educate them.
Okay.
For sure. Because I've been finding out that the people that take the drug, most of them, at least from my experience, the people that I'm working with, they have never gone through a exercise experience, resistance training, and diet long term.
Which is why they're heavier.
That
makes sense.
So when you give them a drug, great, they turn the brain off, they don't think about food, but they're not being taught why they need fiber, why they need protein, right? So we talk about the protein. One thing that I talk about to my clients all the time is about protein recycling, right? Takes about 300, your body recycles about 300 grams of protein daily. Doesn't mean that you have to eat 300 grams of protein daily, but you cannot eat 70 grams of protein daily, because when you don't have, because your body's going to use stored amino acids to convert some of that to usable protein, right? But when you're eating such a few amounts of protein, your body is very smart at trying to close the gap, the 300 grams gap that is happening on a daily basis, right? Where is it going to come from? Muscles, right? So your body starts to break down your muscles to convert some of to the protein recycle. So so I spend a lot of time explaining to them why protein is so important. One client the other day even said me a funny joke that she's been more pressured to eat protein now than she was during her heydays to use drugs, smoking weed. She's like, I feel more pressure now to eat protein than I did to smoke weed or use drugs when I was in college. You're like, hey,
that's hilarious.
That's pretty true.
That's funny. That's funny. Hey, that's positive peer pressure. That's what we're after.
Yeah. So it's more education them on that aspect, trying to really show to them that, hey, this is a great tool, but let's make it better. And let's combine with a few other things to make you more successful. But it takes time.
Yeah. And then do you give any advice on Ozempic? Like if a client were to come to you and ask you about it, do you just tell them to go to a doctor, or do you give them like a 101 on it, or
I don't.
I imagine it's situational.
So depending on the client. So right now, since I work with a lot of older clientele, I don't have a lot of people in the 20s that I train. Most of my clients are in the mid-30s up, right? So depending on the person. So if someone who is really heavy, then yes. Then first try to understand them. Where you're coming from. Can you control yourself? Do you have food behavior problem? Do you feel like eating and chewing all the time? So if they have those red flags for me, then I tell them, you need to go talk to someone. Let's see if we can turn your brain off and put you on a plan to lose some weight. The other aspect that is happening right now is when someone is not very heavy, but it's woman going through menopause. So there are some new studies, some doctors are talking about the importance of perhaps microdosing with GLP-1, not Ozempic necessarily, but GLP-1, to have the both hormones to help reduce inflammation. So I'm not trained in it, don't have a lot of knowledge in it, but then I would refer them to a doctor who has that knowledge, who can talk to them about what are the benefits are to microdosage when you're going through menopause or even post-menopause. Because some people haven't shown to benefit from it, especially reducing inflammation. So that's the key word here, reducing inflammation. Because some of those women are highly inflamed, they're experiencing body weight change, right? So the fat distribution changes around the body, a lot of fat being accumulated now around the gut. Your body's not producing a lot of hormone, but then your liver is going to work around the clock trying to promote that. So that's when taking GLP-1 microdosage to reduce inflammation could be helpful for them. But they need to talk to the doctor, to someone who can really trust. It's very hard, by the way. With all the women that I've been training, they have been reporting back to me that it's been very disappointing trying to find someone who can listen to them. And it's unfortunate. Not not many doctors in the Washington D.C. area really specialize in hormone therapy and the GLP-1, the whole system for women. You know, there are a few of them, but not many of them. There is a really good doctor at Virginia Hospital. What is it? Virginia.
Oh, I don't know.
Virginia. Oh God, there is a clinic here, hospital here.
Never been
Virginia Health Center.
I think Virginia Health Center. Okay. Yeah.
They have a clinic. They have a menopause clinic there. There is a doctor. I forgot her name. Which is very, 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 very good. She understands all that, and I've sent a lot of clients to her. She's very good.
So
very
if you're in the area,
So it's just look Google. You know, Virginia Health Center in Arlington menopause clinic. You're gonna get some great help there, great assistance. You know.
Nick, you had some side effect stuff you wanted to bring up.
Oh yeah, have you heard about the lawsuit with Ozempic and I think it's Novo Nordisk?
No,
you haven't?
Not too familiar with that.
Yeah, there's because I mean people have had I think gallbladder issues, like they've been losing their sight, intestinal things. I mean,
stomach paralysis.
I think I mean it's still ongoing, so we don't know what's going to happen. But I think there were 3,000 claims filed, and like the estimated payout's going to be about $2 billion. I think it has more to do around the advertising and that they downplayed like the side effects. But do you have any like take on that, or
going
have
back
you
to
seen
the very beginning of this spike in GLP-1 usage? There were reports coming out that people were having loss of eyesight and stomach paralysis, and that these were issues. But the marketing of it. And with all peptides, this is an issue I have with all this huge peptide craze everyone's going through is, take this peptide, it's magical for this, whether it's like a GLP-1 or BPC 157. Like when you are sending a signal, like a direct signal into the body, people think it's just shooting that direct signal, whereas there's always going to be other things that it's signaling. So you keep mentioning the brain turnoff. They're also finding that people on GLP-1 agonists are less likely to gamble and do these other behaviors because there's multiple things that the GLP-1 is impacting. It's
not great for the gambling industry.
FanDuel supports Novo Nordisk. Like there's these other side effects. So when people are just like, oh yeah, take these peptides. It's like, well, there could be side effects. We don't exactly know what they are. And I feel like everyone's just ignoring that. So
they are. I mean, a lot of people are because they want to be skinny, you know, at all cost, you know. And if this pill is actually magic, people don't care, you know. They don't care until something happens to them. And then that becomes a problem, right? It's just, to me, it's just normal human behavior. We never think that anything is going to happen to us until it does. And then when it does, we're going to blame someone else, make someone else responsible. I'm not saying that the American industry in this country is not a saint, because they're not. They do hide, right? But I remember at the very beginning, the Nadolsky brothers talk extensively about this. The studies of people being sick were very minimal in comparison to the amount of people using the drug. So the percentage-wise was, you know, close to nothing in comparison to how many people take the drug, right? But yes, there are some side effects. The stomach one, it is a problem. But, you know, to me, it's just being educated enough on what the drug can cause as far as side effects, adverse side effects. But unfortunately, in America, we have the habit of suing people. And this ties back now to me. Maybe the doctor just don't want to help a network of coaches and nutritionists to help a client, because there is could potentially be a liability there. Like, oh, you sent me to this trainer, this trainer hurt me, it's your fault. So I think as much as good as we are with medicine in this country compared to other countries, but sometimes I think to our own detrimental with the judicial system giving a lot of power to people to sue you if they want to. I think that takes away a little bit of that conversation that everybody could be having, a healthy conversation. It's no different than financial people. You hire a financial advisor and you call them, okay, I'm thinking about paying my student loan off in full, you know, getting this money, or should I pay, you know, little by little? Like, you know, it's really up to you. They don't want to tell you point blank what you should do. You know, because there is always that fear that something is gonna backfire on them. You know, and I think that's where we are with with this drug more specific, because that's the topic that we're talking about. There is a risk. People are being informed that there is a risk, but they don't think it's going to happen to them. When it does, they retaliate. But that happens to everything. To all drugs. If not to get too much like RFK, even vaccines, some could have adverse effect to you. Some others could not. So everything could be bad for you. Too much of this could affect some people. I grew up drinking caffeine in Brazil. You drink a little shot of espresso all the time, in the morning, in the afternoon. Is what we do throughout the day. So caffeine doesn't affect me. Because I grew up with it. It's in my system. I can take a shot of espresso at 9:00 p.m. because that's what Brazilians do. You have dinner and people drink a little espresso. Everybody goes bad. So it's just really, really understand the risk. You have to be informed like they are being informed. And if it happens, the drug didn't work for you. Unfortunately.
But I would say that's another argument for not using it as a shortcut and only like using it if you really need it.
Yeah, definitely. But people are abusing it. Because it's there. And I don't know if you guys have noticed or do through your research, if you guys read a lot. It's a lot of people building a wellness facility now out of the practice. A lot of doctors. I know a guy who is a doctor in Richmond. He's just the normal, women's doctor. He decided to do one of those, and the large portion of his practice now is busy with women's wellness. But it's really just a place to prescribe
peptides.
Oh, okay.
But he told me the other day, I'm good friends with him, and he's like, oh, but I'm telling them what to train. They need to train first. It's like, since we're very close, I told him like, you don't know how to write a train program. So, what are you giving them? But we go back again. Stay on your lane. Don't cross it. I don't cross over your side because I'm not trained for it. Don't cross over my side, give bad advice because you don't understand. That's the issue that I'm having. That's some of the posts that I've been doing lately with doctors promoting longevity, and I'm like, what do you guys think is going to happen when you're 90? You're going to be old. You're not going to look like we look right now. You're not going to have the same strength that you have right now. Yes, you're going to be able to move, be mobile, be independent, be able to get off bed, take a shit, get off the toilet without help.
The best way to keep those capabilities as you age is also to have muscle.
Yes, exactly, 100%. But people, don't get me wrong, a lot of those guys like Peter Attia, he has a net positive because it's getting people to think about training, about eating healthier, about minimizing alcohol consumption, managing stress. So those things have a net positive, which is great. Same with the drug. The drug overall has a net positive. So, but humans are complicated and we only hear what we wanted to hear. The reason I mentioned Peter Attia is because he was a 60 Minutes and he gave an interview where he said that in his clinic, they measure how long you can you can hold yourself up from the pull-up bar. And if you hold, then there is a correlation of grip and health. Yes, he's 100% correct. But at his clinic, they hang from the bar for 2 minutes. If a male can hang over, from the pull-up bar for over 2 minutes, that's a synonym with health, right? Okay, so what happens when I train those clients that I know they're watching this? Guess what happened on Monday morning? Hey, can you do a test to see how long I can hang from the pull-up bar? I'm like, no. I'm like, you're already doing 80-pound dumbbell row and you're 55 years old. I was like,
you have grip strength.
You have grip strength. And if you can't hang for 90 seconds, guess what? Hanging from the pull-up bar just tells me one thing. They got good at hanging. And I was like, that is not transferable. If I'm working with someone who never lifted weights, and the reason I did a post this a few days ago, because my neighbor came up to me, said that he was going to the clubhouse in our home development to do a hang pull-up bar, just to hang. And it's been bragging this
just hanging around.
Ever since the 60 Minutes. And I was like, where did this got this from, you know? And he's obsessed with his health, but he doesn't lift weights, he doesn't go to the gym, he gets Happy Meal from McDonald's, but I'm walking 2 hours per day. You're like, yeah, but you don't lift and you get Happy Meals from McDonald's. It's like, you're not being healthy at all. So anyhow, this thing dragged for like 3 weeks in 60 minutes, and he finally sends me the post about hanging from the pull-up bar. And it sure enough was from Peter Attia's 60-minute interview. I was like, you mother son of God, you know? Anyhow, so was there. So this is what happened with human beings. You know, he just heard that if he hangs from 2 minutes, for 2 minutes from the pull-up bar, he's going to be healthy.
Yeah.
And I told him, joking with him, I sent him a picture of my wife doing a 60-pound kettlebell squat. And I told him, if I give you the 60 pounds that she's using, I know you're going to fold like a deck chair. I was like, so you're not healthy at all. You know? but humans, you know, we hear what you wanted to hear, and you apply whatever cuckoo version that we understood to ourselves, because we don't want to do the work. You know, it's hard. It's very hard to do the work. And I understand that. That if everybody did the work, everyone around us would be shredded.
Yeah.
But we don't want to do the work. You know? So Ozempic comes very
Everybody
heavy.
wants to be a bodybuilder, but nobody wants to lift heavy weights.
Yeah.
And
then the same thing with the testosterone clinics that are popping up a lot, which I mean, I don't know. Is it the same thing with Ozempic? I mean, like...
I feel like Ozempic is a mirroring of TRT. You see the exact same thing, but a few years later, basically. It's the same spike where, okay, like, it has this use case that's very helpful for people that need it. But then you have all these people, they get their testosterone levels measured, 380 milligrams per deciliter. Okay, yeah, that's low. That's below what we'd like to see, but it's not like you're in this catastrophic area. So do you need to be taking TRT? Like, might help you, but like maybe you don't need it. And then like you have other guys that maybe they're getting their levels measured and it's 600. It's like, okay, you got pretty healthy testosterone levels. But then they're like, oh, well, I could, I want to be 900. I could build muscle faster and get more shredded if I was taking a subclinical dose of TRT. I'm not really using steroids. It's like, okay, bro, but like, yeah, you are. You just want that shortcut. And now you're 23 years old and you're taking a subclinical dose of TRT. And okay, now you're probably impacting your natural testosterone production levels for the rest of your life. So like shortcuts aren't always the good thing to do. And a lot of times they're not. So.
No, and it's, I wish you could interview my cousin. So he's in Brazil. He went to school for exercise sports science. He was a strength coach for 8 years, and then he decided to go to med school.
Okay.
So he's been giving interviews in Brazil, podcasts. So he understands both worlds because he used to compete. He took steroids. He wasn't training people, and now he was in the medical field, seeing things from a different perspective. Right? Yeah. So you talk about taking steroids or TRT or whatever it is. So from his perspective, he as an anesthesiologist, he was saying that a lot of people that taken TRT, even human growth hormone, not disclosing the information before surgery and dying on the surgical table.
Oh my gosh.
Because apparently to apply anesthesia to those folks, you need a different procedure. There is a different technique and different. He can speak for way more than I can, but there is a different way of injecting people with anesthesia prior to surgery if they are taking steroids.
Okay. It's like maybe growth hormone makes you more responsive to anesthesia or something like that.
Yeah, I think he told. I think if I recall correctly, he was telling me something related to how your vein dilates.
Okay.
You know, so something related to the vein.
Yeah.
That they need to count for.
Okay.
And if they don't know, if they're not being told that you take something, they're just assuming that you don't.
Yeah.
And then people having cardiac arrest at the table, and then they found out, this has been taking steroids and didn't tell us. You know? But to Dr. Jackson, when I was talking to him, he was mentioning...
Prescript, Dr. Jackson.
Yeah. you're talking about TRT. Even if it's TRT, you have to be accountable to do blood work every month.
Yeah.
Because now you have to pay attention to your liver, to your cholesterol. Yeah. So all those things that happen behind the scenes that people don't understand, that when you take your numbers to optimal, right? You're for 600, you're already at optimal.
Yeah, you're already good.
You're already good. You don't need to get 900. You don't need to get to 1,000. And people are chasing that. Some folks are chasing that because they think that make them feel better. But 1,000, according to Dr. Jackson, what do you say? Because I thought it was a very funny expression. Your head is on a swivel. Like for a man.
Yeah.
It's like you're gonna every girl that walks by, you're gonna be looking around. And it's like that's what happens when you are at 900 and 1,000.
Always ready to fight.
Yeah. So, but it's interesting. But again, human behavior. We are irrational.
Yeah.
And we tend to make bad decisions.
Yeah.
We don't make good decisions, and that's the story with the GLP-1s. How many people are actually making good decisions? That's what I wonder sometimes.
Yeah, and with the relation to testosterone, because we naturally produce testosterone, but then you could take TRT, your body naturally produces glucagon-like peptide 1, which is what GLP-1 is. Mm-hmm. So these GLP agonists, they're similar to the natural GLP-1 that your body creates, and they fit into the same cell receptor and produce either like the same response or a partial response. That's what an agonist does. So these natural GLP-1s that your body produces, we were talking about a study the other day on the podcast back in October where the more protein you eat and the more protein you eat in the morning, the more GLP-1s your body produces, which is part of why it's easier to lose weight and you feel more full and you don't want to eat as much when you're eating more protein. So it's kind of like that thing with the testosterone where it's like, you could also increase your levels naturally if you follow these behaviors. But I don't think there's maybe 3 doctors in the country that have told their patients that. Probably.
Like it's funny because if I could, like we're talking about the Nadolsky brothers, if I had a client, if I was living next to them, I would send every client that wants to take GLP-1, go sit down.
Yeah.
Because I know they're prescribing it correctly. With the whole system that we've been talking about, training, diet, nutrition. It comes down to behavior. Can you change your behavior? Yes or not? Because if you can't, this pill, losing 60 pounds is going to be temporary. But what is the workaround they've been finding out now? Microdosage. So they tell people just to take a microdosage so they don't think about food as much, right? But what does that do? If you're not eating enough calories, if you're not eating enough protein, then what I'm interested, and I'm not qualified for that, and I hope all the doctors, the researchers are going to come out and say, I'll do a study. What is going to happen when everybody loses the weight? Now we know that they're healthier. Right? They're not heavy. They have better hormones. Everything looks beautiful. But now you're taking a microdosage, or if you're not, you're afraid of eating, you're not eating. What is that going to do for the long term? At a cellular level, right?
I mean,
what is going to happen 10 years from now? Like for 20 years, Rafael has not been eating more than 1,200 calories. Am I healthy? I'm skinny.
No, you're malnourished because you haven't been getting enough micronutrients. And I've also seen some doctors on Instagram talk about like, I had this patient, they needed to lose weight. We got them on a GLP-1 and then their weight came down to the target that we had, but then they still wanted it. And they're like, give it to me for another 10 pounds. And the doctor's like, okay. And then they come back, okay, it's time to take you off. Oh, no, give it to me for 5 more pounds. No, we really should be taking you off of this. No, they don't want to gain weight back.
I have a client that did that. I have a client that did that. He just wanted 5 more. I'm like, what? Enough. But I don't know if you know this. Old people are also getting the drug from Canada.
Okay. So I didn't know that.
So they are going to the healthcare system through Canada. So they fulfill the prescription through Canada. Obviously, it's out of pocket. And that prescription from Canada is being fulfilled from England. So they buy from England. So the person in Canada is getting the medication, the doctor, whatever, the clinic, getting from Canada. And Rafael from the US is going to this Canadian website asking for the medication. And I've been able to get it but it's coming from London.
That's another big problem with peptides. If you're not getting them from a doctor, is a lot of peptides are being produced in China. And then when they do studies on them and they analyze them, 30% of them are what they say they are. Like 50% of them have other things in them. So it can be really dangerous if you're just trying to use peptides as a shortcut. And like, I used to listen to Mind Pump all the time. They were like my favorite podcast. And then they went like really hard into the peptide space. And I kind of like stopped listening to them for the most part because everything was just about peptides. And I was like, I'm not in on this whole peptide thing. And I don't think their target audience was like the average gym goer or the average person getting into the gym. And it's like, I don't think that's the message we should be pushing to everyone. It's just like, go to all these experimental peptides.
I have, funny enough, I have 2 days ago, a former client, I trained him many years ago. So now he's coming back into the fold. So texted me a week ago, and then he was like, peptide. And he's 35 years old. Very athletic, likes to train. And I was like, think about taking peptide. What is your opinion on it? And then he was like, why do you want to take it? And he said, well, I've been have a lot of injuries, a lot of pain on my shoulders, hips, so I think it's going to make me feel better. And I was like, well, you move like dog. That's why your stuff works. Has been painful. It's not because peptide's not going to do anything. We need to address what is happening with your movement pattern. You walk with a trainer. Like I was working with a trainer, but he's trying to do this core walk. Like, no, it's like it's nothing to do with your core. Maybe, but if your shoulder's hurting, that tells us that you can't maintain external rotation of the shoulder and you press overhead. If your hips is hurting, your lower back is being painful, that tells me that you probably can get into hip internal rotation. You probably don't have full range of your hip, of the hip. That's why you're in pain. Peptide's not going to address that. So long story short, he called me 2 days ago. He's like, hey, I want to train with you again. Let's do it. He lives in New York. He's in finance. So it's like, fine, let's do a just program for you. What is your trainer? Then I asked the magic question. What is your trainer? He was like, oh, he moved on. He's not training anymore. So this is happening at the right time that I'm talking to you again. He went on to do something else. And I was like, that's your problem. I was like, you're working with someone
that's not a professional.
Is not a professional, has no interest being a trainer. And now my profession, the interest barrier is very low. Right? I can go take any certificate over the weekend and, hey, I'm a personal trainer. And he was working with someone who doesn't understand. I told him, I hate to tell you, but your trainer probably you over.
Most trainers in a gym that you walk into have their base certified personal trainer certification, and that's all they have. And they're not like professionals in the space.
No.
They're just someone that likes working out and decided to become a trainer.
Definitely.
And it's a big problem in the industry.
We spoke about in the other podcast I did with you guys. I walked in a gym downtown D.C. that they gave the trainers $1,000 allowance to go do any education, continued education they wanted to do it. They reimbursed up to $1,000. And I worked there for many years. It was a great place to work. I love working there. It was just myself and 2 more guys. That every year we did something. And they had like 15 trainers. I was like, they're allocating $15,000 per year for all of us combined. And only 3-4 people used it.
And those other 12 trainers are probably still not training people.
No, that's the funny thing. Some of them are still there.
Oh, really?
But the good ones left. So myself and the other guys were pretty good at it. They all left. They wanted to do their own thing. That's what happens. But go back to the same thing. People hiring doctors, hiring trainers, they can't tell who is good and who isn't. There is no way to find out who knows something. For trainers that are good, that look like they lift, that they look healthy, they have a little bit of more advantage because then a person at the gym going to look at you like, that person probably, they look like they know what you're doing. Doesn't necessarily always translate to that. But that could help kind of navigate a little bit better.
It's a red flag if they don't look like they lift.
It is. It's funny. It's so funny you said that because the other day, I don't know who was it, posted on Instagram. I don't know if it was, I can't remember who it was, but it was a little recently. Someone posted about, you can't judge a trainer by what they look. The person who is skinny may know a lot more than the person who's very strong. And I was like, bullshit. I was like,
science-based lifter.
I was like, it's human behavior. If looking fit, you don't need to look jacked, but looking fit tells me that you do something, tells me that you take care of your body, tells me that you preach what you say, you do what you preach. So that tells me something, so that's why it's important for a coach. Like, you need to look like you do something, if you're a marathon runner, if you're an Ironman, you need to look like one. If you're a bodybuilder, you need to look like one. If you're a bikini competitor, you need to look like one. You need to give me cues that when I look at you, I know that you have the discipline, you have the consistency, you do the things that you're going to tell me to do, And I have gotten clients like this before. You walk in the gym floor when I was working for corporate gyms. People would come to me like, oh, you look like you do something. You're like, yes, I do. I don't know, but yes, I do. I can probably help you. So it's very hilarious how we are, how people are, and it is what it is, it's funny.
Yeah. Nick, you got any other questions?
No, I think I hit every. Yeah, we hit all of them.
Awesome.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
I think we hit our target of being a little bit shorter than last time.
4 hours shorter.
Yeah. We really appreciate you coming out again.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me here. It's always great to talk to you guys about fitness, wellness, whatever.
There's one more thing I wanted to add.
Go ahead.
So the reason that Rafael and I started having this conversation over text is we were doing research for an episode, and we came across some statistics that 12% of American adults have done GLP-1s, and 6% of American adults are currently taking like Ozempic or something like that.
That's a lot of people.
That's a crazy amount of people. I was shocked by it, but that just goes to show that like this is a very common thing. So if you know people that are taking GLP-1s in your life, maybe talk to them and make sure that they're following some good behaviors and that they're not just using it and not also adding like lifting and eating healthy to it.
100%. You change addressing your behavior towards exercise and nutrition is what is going to make you successful long term. Use the drug as a tool to get you from point A to point B, but without skipping the basics. Because if you're talking about longevity, if you're talking about being healthy long term, we all know that's muscle.
Yeah.
Muscle is the biggest organ that you have in your body.
Yeah.
If you don't have muscle, if they're not strong, and again, strong does not mean being jacked. If you don't have health, lean muscle tissue, you're not going to be healthy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Great way to say it.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, Rafael.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
People can reach you at...
Oh, yeah. So I had to change my account, Instagram, since the last time we're talking about. So for those of you that don't know, my account... Instagram came crashing down on me because I posted a joke 5 years ago, and then they didn't like the joke. It was on my story. It wasn't even on my feed, and they came back at me hard. So I had to change my account so I could not be banned from Instagram. So you can find me at Rafael Aragao, still Aragao. And I'm going to pop up. I'm going to be the first one because I'm the only one.
We'll post it in the video too, in the show notes.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Thanks, Rafael.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for joining us today at Weights and Wealth. And don't forget to apply today's lessons to live healthy and wealthy.
If this conversation will contribute to your fitness and financial gains, please share it with a friend or family member and give a 5-star review so more people can lift bigger weights and get bigger bank accounts.